Hi everyone, I'm Andrea, and this video is a breakdown of the catcher position for each of the 5 AL East teams heading into 2022. So starting with the Orioles, Pedro Severino was their primary catcher this year. He had an average offensive year, but is a below average catcher in terms of framing and controlling the run game. That being said, I do expect him to be the primary catcher on the Orioles roster in 2022. They also have Austin Wynns, who is a fine up and down option, but he is below average in terms of offense and defense. He is out of minor league options though, so he's going to have to start the 2022 season on the 26th man, at least until Adley Rutschman is ready to be called up. Or if Rutschman's ready at the beginning of the season, then he'll take Wynns' place on the roster. And Rutschman is the Orioles' #1 prospect. He's very good offensively and defensively. He has a plus arm, and he did very well at the plate in AAA this year. He's going to be an exciting player to watch on the Orioles next season. Now for the Red Sox, Christian Vazquez had a weaker year at the plate than he has in years past, so there is that possibility that he'll do better next year. He's more known for his defense, and that remained reliable this season. He has a $7 million club option that I expect the Red Sox to accept, and he'll remain the primary catcher heading into 2022. Kevin Plawecki was the backup catcher this year and had an average year offensively, but was below average defensively. He has one more year under team control, and I expect that he'll remain the backup catcher in the 2022 season. Looking at the Yankees, Gary Sanchez had a really tough time offensively in 2020, but did start to come back a little bit this season. Career-wise, he's a below-average defensive catcher, and that held true this year. While he does have plus pop time and a strong arm, he has trouble controlling the run game, which is maybe something worth looking into why that is. He's got one more year under team control, and I expect him to be the starting catcher for the Yankees in 2022. Kyle Higashioka had a rough year offensively, but is more of a defensive catcher. And he is under team control for another 3 years, and I think he's a fine option as a backup catcher in the short term. The Rays have Mike Zunino and Francisco Mejia. Zunino is a very good defensive catcher, but he broke out offensively this season. And he has a $7 million club option for 2022, which is on the pricier side for the Rays, but since they rely so heavily on their pitching staff, I think they will prioritize keeping a high-quality defensive catcher like Zunino. Francisco Mejia is also a plus defender with a strong arm. He's a switch hitter with a lot of offensive upside. And even though him and Zunino make a very strong pair, I think Mejia would be a fine primary catching option if something were to happen to Zunino. The Blue Jays are stacked with catchers. Reese McGuire got some more playing time this year because Danny Jansen was hurt. He's weaker offensively, but he does perform well versus right-handed pitching. He also provides defensive value and is a lefty bat, which works well in the right-handed heavy Blue Jays lineup. Danny Jansen is more of an offensive catcher. He's a plus framer, but he has trouble controlling the run game. He's under team control for 3 more seasons, but I expect him to be on the opening day roster as the primary catcher for the Blue Jays in 2022. Alejandro Kirk is the best offensive option due to his power potential, though he is below average defensively. So they'll have 3 catchers on the roster, which does open up the possibility of a trade this offseason, especially considering how limited the options for free agent catchers are. And I think if they do make a trade, that they'll prioritize Kirk over McGuire just because of his offensive upside. And similar to the Orioles, the Blue Jays' #1 prospect is also a catcher, and Moreno is very good offensively and defensively. And if he keeps up this performance, I think that he'll be competing for the starting catcher role in 2023. While the Blue Jays are in the best position in terms of controllability and depth, their catchers lack the upside that other options have, like Zunino, Rutschman, and Sanchez. And we'll see how the offseason progresses and if any catchers become available due to their teams not accepting their options. But unless there's a significant upgrade that becomes available, I don't see much movement in the AL East in terms of catchers. What do you think? Let me know, and thanks so much for watching.